Hi, I'm Lori Lavelle. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, getting ready for the holidays. Glad to see you out there, Bam. I've never done this before. This is my first video on YouTube, but I'm here to discuss something that I think really needs to be talked about. I am celiac, and I have MTHFR. I'm not a doctor. I have no special initials after my name that say that I've spent 8 years studying how to live with this disease and try to feel better. But I'm hoping that some of the things I might talk about in this YouTube and moving forward will resonate with some of you out there, and maybe you'll feel as though you have a safe place to talk about some of your, feelings, symptoms, things that are going on that perhaps you might see in my story, and maybe together we can find some real solutions, and maybe moving forward you might even start to see that it's important for you to really take control of your own health. It's very important for you to understand that the medical industry, as I see it today, hasn't really been able to cure me. They say my disease is not curable. I went 57 years without a proper diagnosis, and because of that I suffer many different conditions. Some of these conditions you might relate to, some of them you may not. It seems to affect everyone differently, but I can assure you that celiac disease and MTHFR encompass over 280 different diseases from my research, and it's very important that you learn to ask the right questions so that when you are taken care of medically, you're getting the right answers you need, and you're not being led down a path that doesn't have direction. So rather than walk around in the dark, as I did for 57 years, wondering why I just didn't feel well and why my health continued to deteriorate to the point where I nearly died more than once, I think it's important that we get this information out to everyone. And the YouTube family, to me, is the place to start. Now, there was a fellow by the name of Sam Gee. Back in 1888, he was actually the first person that, from my research, stated that he had put down in writing that this condition involved a protein that was found in wheat, rye, and oats. Barley was not mentioned at that point. However, there were some distinct alterations in the small intestinal tracts of these people, and it was discovered that it caused serious distress on the intestinal system. Well, not being a doctor, I'm going to try to keep this very easy for you to understand, but it's really important that we talk about these things. And it's not just for us, it's for our families, it's for the people who care about us, it's for the people we care about, because celiac disease is genetic. And if you're not having your genes tested, and our children and our children's children are not, we can suffer for decades not even knowing why we're sick and being treated for symptoms instead of getting to the root cause, and therefore changing our dietary habits and learning what different types of proponents we should look for in our lives so that we aren't going on for years on end suffering with the same problem. For example, I'll just tell you, about 18 years I was diagnosed with anemia, and there are different forms of anemia. There's a serum type of anemia, and there's a different type of anemia that most doctors don't test for, and we're going to talk about that in depth later. But I just want you to know that I ran around this way for about 18 years. One day a doctor said to me, "My Lord, I don't know how you're standing up vertically. I really don't. My anemia was so bad that I hardly had any red blood cells in my body, but I was working 3 jobs, and I was trying to be a good mother to 3 of my children. So, all I can tell you is that that's just one incident. Things like that throughout my life went on and continued in different forms over and over, day after day, year after year, decade after decade. So I'm hoping all of you here will feel open enough to listen to a little bit about what I have to say and see if perhaps it's happening in your life, so that maybe when you do present to a physician, that first of all, you're presenting the right questions, and secondly, you're finding the right physician. That's just as important as presenting the information, because without that, we're still walking a path in the dark. And I want you all to be well and safe and happy. And I'm going to keep this particular video kind of short, but I just wanted to introduce myself. And I hope you all have a healthy and happy season. Hugs. I'll talk to you again Tuesdays and Fridays. Take care now. Bye.